The dreams of the exceptional ones are burned onto the individual frames of a film reel. The film projector automatically turns on, reaching a steady rolling speed with a purposeful sound. Suddenly, the dreams shoot out in a beam of light, their edges sharpened by the floating dust particles in the theater. Emerging on the screen is a stream of unconsciousness, more than the sum of its individual dreams. It's truly extraordinary. The light shines through each frame, but instead of merely projecting an image, it lifts the dreams from their physical confines. Like an abstract painter, the light hurls both itself and the dreams onto the screen, where they merge. The result is a series of shifting scenes, sharp and hazy, real and surreal. A bustling city street full of honking cars and pedestrians weaving through the crosswalks is washed away by a blue tropical wave and a surfer shooting out of its perfect barrel, both zooming past a tiny desert island with musicians improvising on a small stage, abstract shapes shooting out of their instruments and converging with the clouds above. As the scenes unfold, a fuzzy white light cycles between dim and bright, ebbing and flowing at irregular intervals, obscuring the imagery. At its brightest, the white light fills the entire screen. There is an audience, too. Shadowy, automaton-like people sit blankly, barely moving, with an occasional handful of popcorn sliding up to a mouth, followed by lazy chewing. They are human automatons simply going through the motions. The movie cuts to a new scene, longer and more distinct than the previous one. A new dad holds his newborn baby in a hospital delivery room. Not usually one to cry, he feels tears roll down his smiling face. With a shaky voice, he greets his son for the first time. His wife, lying on the delivery bed, places a hand on his arm, and he delicately hands over their little one. The baby's tiny cheek presses against her warm chest, and his peach fuzz head nestles beneath her lips. He is calm now after the initial shock of leaving the warmth of his mother's interior for an antiseptic delivery room where artificial white light sharpens every detail, from the nurse's white sneakers to the electronic monitors and glossy steel tables. The fuzzy glow returns, slowly overtaking the artificial light. The new family fades into the soft whiteness, which now engulfs the entire screen. In the center of the white, an orange glow appears, followed by a jagged black outline, which quickly crumbles to ash. The screen erupts into flame. Suddenly, a robot awakens from hibernation. He has had the dream again. Unusual, he thinks. Even without dream circuitry, he has experienced this recurring dream since his inception. Could it be connected to his synthetic consciousness grid, the framework that enables emotional emulation and awareness? Over time, the grid becomes layered and interwoven, potentially leading to dreams and even sentience. Although his model type includes the grid, it remains inactive. He reflects on his dream, realizing that, for the first time, it has ended differently. He stands in a hospital room cradling his newborn baby while his wife rests nearby. Tears stream down his face as a surge of emotions washes over him: joy, gratitude, fear, and self-doubt. He gently hands the baby to his wife. Then, suddenly, the scene shifts. He's back in his robotic form, standing in a vast room, watching as everything around him collapses into flames. The imagery lingers as his focus returns to his familiar surroundings. The room is silent, everything perfectly in place. Dozens of identical robots sit side by side on long benches. Around them, cabinets are stocked with syringes, needles, IV fluids, bandages, wraps, medical tape, antibiotics, and electronic monitoring equipment. Like the rest of the hospital, this room feels abandoned for many years, yet supplies remain fully stocked and equipment appears brand new and untouched. The hallway floors and furniture are dust-free, and the air smells fresh, as if the space is maintained automatically. The walls are light gray concrete, smooth and cool to the touch, like one could take a crayon to them and wipe away the mark with a hand, leaving zero residue behind. The robots sit motionless in sleep mode, their hands resting in their laps. Within each of them, the prime directive defines their purpose. When your services are required, you will exit hibernation mode and automatically connect to the newly activated synthetic consciousness grid. He initiates another system scan, searching for the dream and its meaning, but it's nowhere to be found. He has had a fleeting taste of human emotion, and the aftertaste lingers, igniting something within him, a need to unravel the mystery and recreate his human experience, whether in dreams or reality. Turning his head, he gazes at the large mirror on the wall, where the robots are reflected in sharp detail. A flicker of surprise crosses his mind as he sees his mechanical form, a stark contrast to the human body he had just inhabited. Rising to his feet, he approaches the mirror, observing himself carefully with each step. He moves his flesh-like mannequin body in an unusual yet hypnotically smooth and graceful manner. In contrast, his gray metallic head is a literal rectangular box, featuring small holes for ears, dark ridges and grooves forming rectangles within rectangles, like an intricate maze, and various colored lights scattered like treasure gems throughout. Although lacking a nose and mouth, his eye is powerful. He has one softly glowing light covered by an elongated strip of frosted glass. By dimming or intensifying his light, he can convey a broad range of expressions that resemble feelings, especially when paired with subtle tilts of his head. As his soft glow flickers elsewhere, an inferno rages unchecked. The fire spreads quickly to the velvet curtains, ceiling, walls, and floor, as if following a deliberate gasoline trail. It reaches the seating section, and the human automatons drop their popcorn and slowly raise their arms to point at the burning wall that once was the screen. With bulging eyes and freakishly wide ear-to-ear grins full of teeth, they sit in a catatonic pose, pointing, frozen, and awaiting a grim end. Suddenly, the frames of the film reel, the dreams, shoot out of the projector, transforming mid-flight into glowing white playing cards, streaking through the air like tracer rounds. They disperse and descend, growing in both height and width, transforming into shimmering fabric screens slightly taller than a man, encircling the human automatons. With swift precision, they wrap around them and transform again, this time into giant glowing scrolls, cocooning the future scribes of their timeless text. The scrolls ascend into the disintegrating ceiling just as the roof collapses. At that moment, they transform into luminous manta rays crafted from a shiny Kevlar material. The flaming construction materials fall to the ground, some bursting into orange sparks as the pregnant manta rays shoot straight through them, impenetrable, their wings flapping in slow motion as if underwater, belying their rapid path through the air. The mantas flash across the night sky, reach their zenith, and transform into semi-translucent envelopes of silk. Slowly floating back to the earth, they rock back and forth in the cold air. As the last one lands gently, a dozen robots emerge from generic gray concrete buildings bordering both sides of the deserted street. The prime directive echoes inside each of them. You are real robots, and your services are needed now. You must care for the new life that lies before you. Your synthetic consciousness grids are now activated and interconnected. You are now a single mind with feeling, emotion, and sentience, qualities necessary for your new role as caregivers. The real robots gather around the human automatons, now reduced to small lumps nestled within their glowing rectangular chrysalises. Shrunken from their grotesque forms of moments ago, they rest, gently pulsating, emitting a soft white glow. The robot's powerfully expressive eye lights emit a medium soft glow. Their gazes, gentle and downward, radiate love, gratitude, and awe. Suddenly, the top layer of one silk envelope dissolves into mist, revealing a human baby lying on a glowing blanket. Then, one after another, babies emerge, a dozen total. Boys and girls with different skin and hair colors, crying, smiling, wiggling their hips and limbs, all seeking a warm touch. The real robots instantly warm their flesh-like arms and chests to 99.5 degrees Fahrenheit, the temperature of a mother's body moments after childbirth. They gently pick up the babies, cuddling them close to their chests. They crane their necks downward to comfort and protect the babies with their rectangular heads, careful not to make contact or poke the little ones with their sharp detailing. The robots swiftly and gracefully walk back to their respective concrete buildings. While the dreams of the exceptional ones will always be dreams at their core, they undergo multiple transformations of physical form based on humanity's most urgent needs. Frames of a film reel, moving images on a theater screen, glowing playing cards, shimmering fabric screens, 6-foot-tall scrolls, luminous manta rays, and semi-translucent envelopes of silk. Now, in their final form, glowing baby blankets, they hover above the cold asphalt. Fluttering in the gentle wind, they softly dissolve into nothingness.